everyone. Welcome to the Reality Wind Down podcast, where we break down the latest Bravo TV shows and fun pop culture moments of the week, one glass of wine at a time.
One or two glasses of wine at a time.
Or one or two bottles at a time.
I mean, if you're us, yes.
And speaking of wine, I think you brought us something.
I did. How cute is she?
I mean, it's amazing. It's literally, so it's a white puffer jacket and a fur hoodie on a wine bottle. I mean, it's literally a fancier jacket than I own my own personal self.
Let her model for you.
I mean, what better way to bring in our favorite wine, Whispering Angel, to the party?
I felt like it was perfect, too, because we're going to the slopes this week on Salt Lake City. So I thought it was too good. I was like, I have to get this.
Speaking of Salt Lake City, we actually will be discussing that along with OC, Potomac, a little Southern Charm in there, so...
Gonna talk about a lot more this week.
I was like, we got some stuff to talk about, and I'm excited. We have some good shows. Salt Lake City was great.
Yes.
But before we get to that, I do want to play a little bit of a Housewives product game.
I'm so excited.
It's actually your idea. You came up with it, so I'm happy
I mean, actually, my boyfriend came up with it, but I will take all of the credit.
It's like, we'll give some credit to him, but hey, we're doing it, so we executed it. It's happening.
It's happening. Are you gonna start it off?
So what we're doing in this game, Housewives are famous for their product lines. They always come out with one, at least at some point in their journey.
The good and the bad.
The good and the bad. So the game we're going to play is this product real or not? If it's real, I want to be like, whose product is it?
Right.
Just to really like get into it and see if we know. Which
okay.
I personally think you're going to do better at this game.
Why? Because I'm like more of a creep? Oh,
no, I don't remember anything.
Because your memory is so terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you just put it out there and you're going to absolutely destroy me at this game.
First product I have for you. You ready?
I'm so ready.
Pop of color.
I know this is a real product. I know that it's Kristen Takeman from New York City. Because I remember the drama behind it. Because Bethany said something like, there's already a brand called Pop.
And on top of that, another funny little drama that came out of it was Carol's name ideas were sexual. Like thrust and slide. And she was doing, all the terms for a penis, essentially. And the group was just like, I don't understand what nails and sex have to do with each other. Which I personally thought was a genius.
I thought it was funny, too.
Point.
I liked that Carol kept going with it when they clearly were not biting for it at all.
Mm-hmm. I mean, are we surprised? Like, Carol, I think it was like a year ago, posted on her Instagram advertising for the vibrating necklace. Oh,
my God, she
where it's
did.
the necklace you can carry around with you, and it's a tiny little vibrator.
That is a moment.
So, I mean, it's very on brand.
Speaking of... I'm going to go next.
Speaking of brands.
Speaking of vibrators, actually.
Oh, God.
The first one I have for you is the Make Me Over compact case vibrator. Is it real?
No. I don't
Is that your
think
final
so.
answer?
It is my final answer.
It is real.
What? Is it Candy's?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Bedroom
I thought we
candy.
were going to... See, I thought it was going to be the name, like, Bedroom Candy. But I still lose that question. Because I didn't know that product existed. I didn't.
It describes itself as a discreet body massager that comes in its own custom compact used for storage and charging.
It's so funny because I was just saying a necklace had the dual use as a vibrator. Now you're saying
I was
a
just thinking that.
case.
I also love that it says it's beautifully detailed and tremendously powerful because I can see like Donald Trump saying it's tremendously powerful.
Oh, God.
And I'm just watching. I'm thinking
and
about
you want
him
to think
doing
about
an
him
ad.
while you're doing
No! Oh no! God, what have I done?
Okay, second product.
Okay.
Unfiltered blonde Chardonnay.
I'm gonna say that's fake.
Fine.
No, don't look at me like that.
Wrong.
No.
You're wrong. It's Brandy Glanville's.
Oh God. Okay.
I know, but it kind of goes along because doesn't she have her podcast like Unfiltered? Or
I think
a book
she does.
Is Unfiltered?
Yeah. Oh, I'm so annoyed that I didn't get that. I mean, it does make sense. She always says I'm so unfiltered.
Yeah.
Okay, next one for you is Couture custom caftans.
I'm gonna get all of them wrong. No.
Okay, hint, wrong. Well, that's not a hint.
Okay.
We'll be touching on the show tonight. Southern Charm Patricia.
Oh,
remember
my
she had
God.
the cute dog ones and like the pajamas?
Of course.
And I feel like we always wanted them. So there goes your birthday present.
Okay, honestly, and there goes my second question wrong.
Well, I mean, also, like, I would say there goes your birthday present, but it's the $300 caftan, so...
I mean, you have a couple months to save up, so...
And it also turns out the website is no longer active.
I think that's more importantly is the reason why it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not money. It's that it doesn't exist anymore.
Okay. So, my turn. Well, to ask you a question. Sewing Down South.
So real. So Craig Conover.
I love that one.
I know. I would love to have one of his pillows. I'm not going to lie.
I bought my brother one for last Christmas for his Christmas present.
What did it look like?
It was so cute. It has lemons and crawfish on it. So it's like a crawfish boil. It's actually really cute, I have to say. And it came in it was fast.
What's like the price point for his pillows?
Don't quote me on it, but I feel like $45. Okay. But it's for like a big pillow. Okay. And it's a novelty. My brother's obsessed. Like it's the only show my brother will watch on Bravo, right. Southern Charm. So it's like I have to. It was Christmas, so I splurged a little bit. I mean, the year before I gave everyone a picture of myself for Christmas, so I think a pillow is an upgrade.
This is a theme for you because for my birthday you gave me a picture of your feet.
Oh my god! So... Clearly, I just love all of myself. I want to share it with the world.
That makes one of us. Okay, I'm next. Let's see. Heels of Steel, a novel. She's shattering the glass ceiling, one building at a time.
Is this gonna be Barbara K?
Yes.
Oh my god, wasn't completely sure
until I read
but whenever you said breaking the glass ceiling, I was like, who's the only housewife we know is gonna kick her heel through a glass ceiling? And it would be Barbara K. I knew that was gonna give it away,
but I love that line so much. I really wanted to read it.
Okay. The Sonia Morgan toaster oven.
I mean, it is real. It is very real. But it never happened.
Is it real?
So...
Is it a trick question?
That's a trick question. That's not even fair.
We'll have to run the tape back on that one. We have to find out.
I think we're going to have to call Andy Cohen and get the official judgment for that one. Okay, your next one is Fabellini Prosecco.
Yes, girl. We should be drinking that tonight. That's real. Teresa Giudice.
Great product.
Actually never had it, but I want to try it.
I wonder if we could get our hands on a bottle. I don't think it exists anymore to buy, but maybe we could find a vintage.
You know what? Maybe we can buy a bottle at Kyle by Aileen too.
Oh, but wait, doesn't that not exist anymore either?
Exactly.
That's why this game is so much fun, because it's products that happened and existed, but...
At the end, we should decide how many, or figure out how many of these brands are actually still alive and well.
In existence.
Yeah. Okay, next question for you.
Okay.
Fine body workout.
I just re-binged Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I know that was Phaedra's, because it's fine with a PH, right?
Mm-hmm.
She did a second workout video that never came out because it's when Apollo went to prison. And Todd kept saying, "Oh, you owe me money."
That was it, yes, because that was the drama, yeah.
And she said, did little Todd Tucker not get his paycheck from Candy this week, or his allowance from Candy this week?
Oh, Phaedra and her one-liners,
Phaedra
I miss them so much.
So many good one-liners. The Dump Detox.
No.
She's real.
What? And why am I so bad at this? I know I would be.
I didn't know this one. So it's by Portia. It's by you. I am shocked.
I'm shocked by that name. That is not an appealing name, I would say.
Yeah, it's the worst name I've ever heard.
To wrap her up, last product.
Melania Hair Care.
Melania Hair Care. Does she have a hair care line? I mean, I know a Melania, that's for sure. Have you seen me around? No.
I mean, yes. It's real, but as of 2013, you can't buy it anymore.
Okay.
First you were one. I know that's Gia singing, but it was to Melania, so. First you were one, then you were two. Then, come on, sing the words. I know you know them. Then 4, and now you are 5. So,
oh man,
just Gia's singing career, Melania's hair care is no longer available.
Okay, so you want to talk about the elephant in the room?
What elephant in the room? The room itself?
Yeah, okay, so the room is the elephant.
Look at this fabulosity happening in here.
I know, it was amazing. We had a little disco weekend.
Yes, it was our producer's birthday. And we had a fun little quarantined disco. Kylie Minogue themed disco.
We got some balloons. We got some streamers. We got a disco ball.
It's amazing.
I mean, it's great.
But I feel like also this room gives me major Studio 54 vibes. And
it was
also,
so much fun. It was such a fun weekend.
What else was Studio 54?
Oh my God, Salt Lake City.
Yes.
You're just tying it all in. You're right. We have a Studio 54 room.
Yes.
To celebrate Salt Lake City. Let's say that.
Because when we resumed this week's episode, we were still at the party.
Oh my God, we are. So we're at Jen's party right now.
We're
starting our podcast at Jen's party.
We're in Jen's chalet basement recording. So
perfect. And like you said, we started the episode at the party still. Yes. So we're coming off of Mary not apologizing for calling Jen or saying that Jen smells like hospital.
Well, Jen was really upset and she'd stormed into her room and Mary came to find her.
I do have to say there was a really funny cutaway or cut to Mary immediately after the fight, just sitting on the couch dancing by herself. I was like, and like what is green she doing?
Little like Madonna, just like not that we don't love Madonna, but like the outfit was like an ugly Madonna mode. I know. Wait, you said you didn't hate it last week though.
No, that was her
you didn't hate the
look. That was
look.
A jacket.
Okay.
One look out of all of them so far. She's just sitting there dancing as Jen's freaking out in her bathroom or bedroom or something. Right.
Mary ends up going in to apologize to her. She goes in and tries to find her.
Yeah. And Heather's in there with them, and then Mary walks in.
Yes.
And Heather's just immediately like, why did you say that? Why did you do that? And I was like, okay, I like this. I like that Heather's speaking
I like Heather. I think Heather's coming in really strong.
So after Mary walks in and Heather kind of calls her out and it's like, why did you say that? They actually get over it pretty quickly.
Surprisingly fast.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad. Because I don't want to harp on it all season.
No.
So I feel like it's good that they got over it really quickly. And then did you not love when it panned to like get to the next scene? It showed, I think it was Lisa was with her son. And she looked at him and she was like, 1, 2, 3, fake laugh. Yeah. Because like we do that for pictures all the time. We're like literally that? Like we could do it on cue. 1, 2, 3. Fake laugh.
That was really relatable.
I love that moment.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
But right after that, Whitney pulls Lisa to the side. And she's like, hey, so I want to thank you for the gift of giving me your La Vida tequila bartenders and a lot of bottles of tequila because Lisa says it could have gotten 500 people drunk.
Yeah.
So she gets that and she turns around though and she says, but they really kind of messed up my house. They broke a load of stuff and they were just super irresponsible. And
Lisa didn't like that. Lisa did not like that comment because she took it very personally because she felt like it was an attack from Whitney on her business. Also, I don't believe it was that. I really don't.
But also, like, no, pause. Lisa literally gave her that and wasn't even invited to the wedding.
I don't know if they said that,
No, she did. Lisa said I wasn't even invited to the wedding. I sent her that out of the goodness of my heart. Like, here, take the free tequila, take the bartenders, take the mixers. She bought all the mixers for her.
Yes, that's not a good look.
This is where we had a little beef about this.
We don't agree on this one. I think more because I'm not the biggest fan. I'm going to say it right up of Lisa. I don't hate her. Lisa. I don't hate her yet, but I feel like I'm seeing she's going to be something that we're not going to like eventually, and I feel like I'm seeing signs of it now. And I feel like this was like an intro into that because Whitney was kind of just saying like, I believe she probably said thank you, but she was like, I'm just a little annoyed because the bartenders you sent
I think it came off as ungrateful, though.
I don't know if it did. I'm not saying it was a good look.
Because then she started calling her out, and then she was like kind of nasty in her interview. She made a comment like, "Oh, well, we keep the good stuff, the Casamigos, in the back, anyways." But they had come in and they broke glasses, and they'd open up like like someone's old Scotch bottle or like a whiskey bottle or something.
So a little bit later in the episode, we do end up hearing Lisa's side of the story when she's telling her husband.
Yes. When she's talking at her husband. Yeah. I love that he sat there and he was just kind of like, is this like a rhetorical thing? Am I supposed to respond?
And I feel like that's how you manage a relationship. You're like, do you want my opinion or do you not?
It's like 90% let me know. Yeah, it's so true.
So she's telling him, Whitney is kind of disparaging. Like, I gave her this present. Mm-hmm. I was being nice. She's getting married.
She's kind of crapping on her brand the way she's talking about.
Yeah. And, okay, Lisa, like, I get this isn't right, but I thought she was getting a little like too annoyed and worked up about it when she could have just been like, oh, I don't believe that. That's fine.
See, but I don't feel like she was that worked up. I felt like she was...
But talking about it again.
But wouldn't you, if you and your husband owned a brand together and like she literally episode 2 is coming in hot saying your bartenders were unprofessional, like they broke stuff in my house. Like that looks really bad on your brand.
Yeah, it was just funny because like in the shot behind her, like all of her like tequila bottles are laying around. It's just like, like my brand, like I don't want to do this with my brand. I'm like, you sent those bottles to her to be featured on an on-camera wedding.
Yeah, but still, I mean, she had the rest of the season to plug her brand. Like, she didn't have to make it just that. I mean, imagine if someone said to Bethany, hey, your skinny girl bartenders came, and after she said them all this stuff, I mean, Bethany would just annihilate them.
She would, and that's why Bethany annoyed the shit out of me.
But still, the other day, I feel like it's people's livelihood, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't.
True, but you're on a reality show. Like, you're exposing your brand.
I get
to
it.
criticism.
I still just felt like she was
not
a little.
The brand. I don't even think she criticized the brand. That's the thing. I don't think any of it was like, your tequila sucks. Your brand
saying
sucks.
We keep the good stuff in the back. Talking about Casamigos is shady.
That was shady.
Yeah.
We're not going to agree on this topic.
We're definitely not going to agree on this. It's funny because I feel like we
agree
so much. It's literally, it's about the tequila. I feel like we agree on so many things, so it's so funny. It's just it's a weird one.
It is a weird one. I just don't know yet, I think.
I feel like we need to definitely move on to Whitney saying she was accused of being a swinger.
See, there's another thing. It's like shady comments about brand, shady comments about relationships. It's tit for tat.
But what do we always say? If we don't hear the conversation between two people...
That's true.
Because apparently Whitney texted Lisa and said, like, hey, sorry for bringing it up. Let's, like, talk about it, like, kind of over text. And Lisa said, I'm not having this conversation over texting. So she called her. And smart. That's when...
It's a smart move on Lisa's part, though.
It is smart not to put it in writing. She can't put it in writing. You can't prove it. But also, if you don't get it on camera, you can't prove it. And we talked about this last week. If we don't see it, then I don't see how...
I'm already going back on that. I'm so bad because I'm like, well... Yeah,
you said it.
I think
Roll the tapes. Roll them back.
I think that she said it because she left the party and decided to call her. It was all thought out. Which, you know what? I'm going to... say at least it was a smart way to go about a fight. It wasn't on camera. It wasn't over text. No receipts.
It's her word against hers at this point.
Again, agree to disagree.
And we get to, I feel like we get to know Whitney a little bit more too. And I feel like this whole conversation we're having right now, I feel like it sounds like I really don't like Whitney. I do like Whitney. Like, it was a really sweet moment to see her with her dad and saying, my dad's gone through these addictions, this painkiller addiction.
That was a sweet moment to get to know her.
Well, she said, I'd feel like if I hadn't been here for my dad, then I don't know if he'd still be here, which is
that's a lot of pressure.
Rough. Yeah. And that's really, that's such a deep thing to say.
Well, on a lighter note, we head over to Meredith and Seth. And their lovely date night discussing how much they're in love and their marriage is perfect.
Yeah, it's exactly what happened in an alternate universe. They were sitting there and I was like, this is actually really sweet because we've seen him being away for a bit and he was like, you look so beautiful tonight. And I was like, oh, this is going to be like a really sweet moment. And that's not what happened at all. He really started in on her and we find out that they actually are separated, which I think it was shocking.
I was shocked to hear it, but I mean, we had already been like, their marriage seems a little bit weird.
Like, we already love watching Mary's reactions to things. Imagine if Mary had been like at the table next to them watching this. She would be like, like she's literally like all of us watching everything happen.
To me, it wasn't necessarily surprising, but the fact that he just was like, oh yeah, have you told people we're separated?
Yeah.
My jaw
said,
dropped. How
many friends have you told?
And she was like, I don't want to tell people.
It's not something I'm advertising, but it's... I think you can just tell that she's really disconnected at this point. She said they got married when they were like 23, 24, had their first baby at 25.
Moved
she
around.
Was like, it moved really quick. Yeah, we've been moving a lot, like in our relationship. We've never been maybe settled and comfortable in a situation, and maybe that's led to the turmoil that they're in now.
I know this is something that I feel like a lot of like younger relationships, obviously older relationships too, talk about. Are you willing to give me your phone? Can I go through your phone? Can I read your text? And
what's your take on that? Would you give, if you were sitting there at a dinner and you and your partner were separating and he said to you, okay, I would give you my phone right now to look through it and see whatever you want. Can I see your phone?
I would.
Yes.
But me and my boyfriend had this discussion a million times because I feel like I used to be pretty jealous in a relationship. So past me, he's probably rolling his eyes, being like, yes, you definitely would.
Yeah.
Like, take my phone. But now I think a little bit more secure myself, my life, relationship. I think that question brings up an insecurity in yourself and the relationship. So I think it's a sign that it may not be okay always. I would give it to them.
Right.
But I don't want the question to even be there.
Well, I feel like once you've been together for, God, probably over 20 years, like they have now, like, it just seems so crazy that you're fighting over things like...
Just start hiding things
yeah,
at that point.
like, let me see your phone. That just makes you think, does she have someone else that she's talking to?
Yeah, because, like, I think our partners and us can pick up each other's phones casually.
I mean, the only thing I'd be worried about, like, oh my God, you're gonna see an embarrassing selfie of me that I was
exactly.
trying. Like, I thought
or
I
like,
looked cute, and they get it, and I look like this.
The weird shit we talk about in our group chats, like
yeah,
that's like I would be more embarrassed about that. It's nothing about the partner.
Or like how much we talk about like Taco Bell. You'd be like, why do you talk about Taco Bell so much? And like that would basically be
exactly. So that was like weird to see him be like, you won't give me your phone, and she was like, pretty much no, I won't.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
For sure.
So that was like I think a big shocker of the episode was like they actually are separated.
I would agree.
It makes a lot more sense why he didn't come to her birthday, stuff like that. So.
And I think right after that we head into the ski day.
Yeah.
We get to our first cast trip, our mini cast trip as you call it.
Cast trip.
Yeah.
It is a day trip, I believe, but it's still a cast trip. They're going skiing.
We got so excited. We thought we were going to have them like going and staying away immediately. We were like, Salt Lake City's coming through so strong, and now even stronger. They're going to go away together.
I still stand by it. A day trip is at least getting them all forced into a situation together.
I feel like they come in and, was it Heather who was so hardcore? Like, I'm such a good skier. I'm such this. I was like, is this like the real skiers of like Salt Lake City?
Girl, you didn't know that she skied every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
Off the bus. Saturday, ski
like,
day.
Good for you, but like, why are you like roasting everyone so hard that's going on the buddy slopes? Like, girl, like let them do their thing.
I feel very attacked because I went skiing in January.
Yeah.
For like the first time since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Did I get a lesson and do the bunny slopes at first? Yeah.
Okay, but you already beat me because I went skiing in December and I just laid in the bed and après-skied all day and drank wine. So at least you tried.
I love the shot when it's like they're already all ready, they've gotten their skis, and they're doing a slow-mo. You know I love a slow-mo.
I love a slow-mo.
Yeah, I mean, you watch shows for the slow-mo.
I only watch Siesta Key on MTV. I don't know if anyone is still watching that show. But they have like 35 minutes of like the 50-minute episode is just like really beautiful people walking in slow motion. Like that's the only reason we watch it.
I would watch it for that.
Honestly, I'm gonna get you into it for that reason.
Yeah, because the slow-mo of them like all in a line walking in their incredible snow outfits.
We rewound it. We watched it again.
That's true, we did. And I could have watched it a lot more time.
I could have absolutely.
But it was just like a fun like slow-mo, and I'm like, okay, they look hot. They're skiing. I'm into it.
Like it was fun to see them. Like the few that were good at skiing up there skiing, and then the rest that sucked.
And it was Jen, Mary, and Lisa that stayed down and just like we're with a ski
instructor. It was the fashion queens who didn't go up in hardcore
and Mary
shred.
Just like making. She couldn't even make a snow angel. She didn't need to be in the snow.
Mary is just she's a moment. She's something.
It was funny. And that was just some skiing going on, and then they go to dinner right after that.
Well, I mean, they almost didn't go to dinner. They were, 3 hours late to their dinner reservation? Yeah. I'm pretty sure that if filming hadn't already, like, set up and was, like, paying the restaurant, they would have been, like, shut down. You're not eating here. The whole staff has gone home.
The restaurant was empty.
Yeah, but...
There wasn't a single person in there.
Did you even notice the one girl that was, I think we found out she was Whitney's friend who was sitting there. I thought it was Whitney. I was like, is there two Whitneys at this table?
Popped up out of nowhere. And also I find it so odd whenever they bring a friend.
When two friends have the same haircut?
That.
She looked just like her. Went to? Yeah. They went to Daddy Steve. Daddy Steve
They all got the Daddy Steve.
They did.
No, but they were sitting on opposite sides of the table. It was so weird.
That was weird, especially because... Whitney's having kind of beef with Lisa, and that girl, what do we know her name?
They said it, but I honestly
we're gonna call her friend number one. Friend number one was sitting next to Lisa, and that's kind of weird because she's the one that she's had issues with.
Yeah, I wonder if they tried to get Whitney to sit there, and the friend was like, I'll take the spot.
Whitney kind of looked at her and said, they were talking about judgment and being judgmental, and Whitney looked over at Lisa and said, well, actually, I felt really judged by you. You could tell Lisa was so taken aback. She was like, I don't care enough to judge you.
I do have to say, like, if you're going to bring this up at dinner, be a little bit more better in your delivery. She was literally hesitant.
You got to be like
a little bit nervous. You have to come in and just say it. Like,
sniper from the side. She needs to come in a bit more sneaky with it.
Yeah, and just not so, like, you could tell she was hesitating. And I was like, no, you're starting a fight in front of all these people. You got to go in. But you have to speak it. Because the thing is, Lisa steamrolled her.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what whenever Whitney couldn't articulate what she wanted to say, I knew Lisa had her already before Lisa even spoke.
Well, whenever Lisa kind of came back at her and she was like, I don't care enough to judge you. And Whitney was like, you've said I'm a swinger. And then Heather jumps in and is also like, yeah, I felt really judged by you too. My take on that was they both sounded really insecure, in my opinion. Heather and Whitney both sound like they're putting their insecurities about, like, you know, things that maybe they've dealt with the Mormon church, because Lisa's still in the Mormon church, and she's, well, I guess Heather's still in the Mormon church too, but Lisa's
I see
the
that
perfection or whatever. Because
the fights were pretty pointless, both of them.
Yeah.
And Heather more so, I think, because it's simply about, you don't remember me.
Yes.
But I have to say, like, it has to feel like shit if you're like, oh, I know you. And then someone's like, I don't know who you are.
No, I think that wasn't cool.
And then immediately says that she pulled up her top. Lisa said that about Heather. And I'm like, I would be pissed too.
No, I agree.
So that's where I go a little bit annoyed of Lisa, because just say, yeah, I knew who you were in college. We weren't really friends. Done.
I agree.
But she makes a point to be like, I don't know you.
I think that wasn't cool,
blah, blah.
because I think she clearly knew her, and even if she didn't really know her that well back then, you've been put on a show together, you know who she is. Yeah. Don't pretend like you didn't know.
And Heather's one thing against Lisa was like, she's dismissive, and I was like, you actually are being dismissive right now.
They say they're gonna make up, but then she says the thing about a thumbs up text. So Heather sends Lisa a thumbs up text. And Lisa's like, you know what you were doing sending me the thumbs up text. You know what that means.
Another ridiculous fight. An emoji fight now?
Well, what does that mean? Like,
I don't know.
And Heather said back, she was like, that's not what I meant. But in her confessional said, it's actually the double thumbs up. And I did mean screw you by it.
She said, 2 thumbs up text is an international term for fuck you.
Okay, like, there's a middle finger emoji too.
But also, I don't know. I've never heard that.
Maybe we should read, like, the Mormon emoji book. Maybe it's in there.
Like they have to, like, it's very passive aggressive, and I feel like that's how they're currently all working as a group.
Yeah.
So maybe that's just, you know, you're not saying it, so you don't have to be like, I actually meant it, which Heather did mean it, because in her confessional, she's like, well, yeah, I actually did mean fuck you, so.
But, yeah.
But pretty much the end of the fight, she's like, I don't care enough to judge you.
Yeah.
Let's clean slate, let's wipe it all, and that's it.
Another great episode. I'm going 9 out of 10.
I know. I have to say it too. I mean, because we didn't get a lot going on, but every scene there was something to look at. There was a funny little something, like, you know, there was always.
And we didn't focus on Hospital Gate like I thought we could have done this episode. All.
I think we're on to Swinger Gate.
We're on to Swinger Gate. We're on to Thumbs Up Gate. We got lots of gates going on here, but it's not harping on one thing, which I'm very into.
Yeah.
Looking forward to episode 3.
Yeah, me too. So, do you want to move on to the Salt Lake City opening act?
Oh my god, is that what we're calling Orange County now? Amazing.
Doesn't it have that vibe? We watch it because we watch it. There's some interesting parts, but we're really wanting the main show, and it's Salt Lake City. I'm
just saying, like, I don't want any opening act that starts with Kelly Dodd and Rick Leventhal in bed, starting an OnlyFans. I mean, I genuinely had, like, a visceral reaction to seeing them laying in bed together.
Me too. I think we both jumped. Like, we were sitting on the couch and we jumped.
And screamed, like, in unison. We both went,
yeah. And we were, I'm just tired of listening to Kelly talk about sex.
I am so sick of it. And Rick was kind of strange. He was laying there and he was like, I just want to do everything I can to make you happy and comfortable. I was like, ooh, I could have never heard him say those words while laying in bed topless with Kelly Dodd in my life and have died very happy.
Well, I'm happy he's trying to make her comfortable because I'm surely uncomfortable.
He made us so unhappy and uncomfortable.
So I guess at least it's working for her because it ain't working for me.
It ain't working for anybody else.
No, it's not. And then we go over to just Gina working out with Emily. That was like a quick scene there.
New hip! We keep yelling that.
My favorite thing about Emily's right now is just...
New hip! New hip! Like, she would be doing a push-up and I would still want to scream, new hip!
I honestly think her new hip is the best thing that ever happened to Emily.
New hip, new her.
100%.
And I, like, love how, like, real Gina looks. She's like, oh my god, my back fat's squeezing in this jacket. This trainer's standing there looking like Barbie. Like, yes, do this, do sit-ups.
It would just make me so mad.
But it was good. It was very Orange County, like you say, very Orange County.
Yeah, and they're working out, like, I think looking at the water. Yeah, I'm like, it's just such an Orange County scene.
Yeah.
And then Elizabeth and Bronwyn to go biking, and they're kind of discussing a little bit.
Well, she was discussing, she sat down with Elizabeth, and Elizabeth was saying something on the lines of, like, I felt really bad when you left that I stayed and kept drinking with the girls. I felt like I wasn't loyal to you. And, I mean, I don't think that it's cool that Bronwyn didn't respond with, you know, it's okay, like, they're your friends too, it's fine. Like, she was almost like, yeah, like, you should have soldiered up and, like, been on my side.
She's definitely wanting to get that alliance in with her Elizabeth off the bat. because she knows how easily she can be sucked into, like, the party girls.
Yeah. Did you not think it was really out of order when Bronwyn said, the more I thought about it, the more I really felt like Shannon only had tequila at the party to do, like, a middle finger to me. Or as some would say, 2 thumbs up to me.
Yeah, and I do think because Bronwyn's in the throes of the sobriety, and it's new.
Yeah.
She's taking things that aren't direct hits as direct hits.
And, like overthinking everything.
Shannon's been, like, the Tres Amigas.
Yeah.
And, like,
I mean, they always drink tequila.
Margaritas and doing tequilas and shots. I mean, remember whenever they fell in the airport that time taking shots?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah, and she just, like, I think it was Vicky, just fell over in the airport, and the shots just, like, fell on her.
Like, glass broke all over the airport going to, like, Cabo.
So not Tamara. Oh, God, Ghost of Tamara just came out of me.
She came out of the bushes.
Oh, my God.
She's still in the bushes waiting.
So Shannon having tequila at her party isn't surprising. So
yeah, I felt like she overthought that.
And then they move on to the triple date night with Gina, Emily, and Shannon and their men.
Who thought that we would ever see Shane? That's Emily's husband, right? Yeah, Shane.
Yes.
Who thought that we would ever see him, like, out to dinner and we wouldn't just, like, hate him the whole time? Like, he was actually okay. Like, he's really worked on himself a bit.
He has.
He's gotten
He's
better.
fine. I mean, he makes dumb jokes still, but it's like, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Oh, I do have to go back for a second. There was, like, a weird cut to, like, in between I think it was the opening scene and them working out, where, like, Hoda Kotb just showed up and she was like, the first case of coronavirus hit California. And then just cuts away and goes to their scene, like, working out.
It was a weird edit.
It was such a weird edit, but it makes sense now because at this triple date, we kind of get this sense of, like, the doom and waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yeah.
For COVID to start being talked about on the show.
Because John and Shannon say that they had just been to, like, Trader Joe's or the shop.
Costco and all this stuff.
Buying all the toilet paper. And I thought it was really funny when Shannon said, you can't even get hand sanitizer on Amazon anymore. And Gina said, yeah, because you bought it all. Like, because you probably bought it all,
I
Shannon.
see Shannon buying all the hand sanitizer.
And I feel like we said that before coming into the season. I was like, oh, God, I cannot live through this pandemic watching Shannon Bedore. I cannot live this through her eyes because she's always such a freak about everything. She's such a hypochondriac. Like, I really knew that this was going to be an issue. And the fact that she's already out panic buying, and it's probably only February at this time when they're doing this.
Hoda said 1 case in California.
Yeah, exactly. So. And people are already panicking. So.
Yeah, so you just start to get, which you already kind of were, but now it's really like, oh God, this is about to happen.
100%.
Not ready.
Who do you think, in watching the show, which housewife do you think is going to freak out the worst about the pandemic? And who do you think is going to take it the chillest? Like, who's not going to worry about it that much?
I have to say it's kind of an easy answer just because in that dinner with Shannon, it just shows she's that panic buyer.
Yes.
Freaks out, she's done Dr. Moon all these seasons.
Oh my
she's
God,
very
Dr.
into
Moon.
being on top of that stuff.
Right.
So Shannon's definitely going to take it the most serious.
Right.
Kelly Dodd taking the least serious. Of course. Like, her attitude and mentality about everything is just so, like, that's not real. That's dumb.
I mean,
this
about
stupid.
Bronwyn's alcoholism, she consistently says, why do you want to be a quitter? Like, that, if that doesn't sum up how she's probably going to handle the pandemic, I don't know what does.
So after this dinner with them, we just, for a second, go see Kelly at her, like, positive water.
Yes.
Her healthy water.
Her healthy, that's, like, my favorite thing ever whenever she said, I'm working on a healthy water brand. Like, ma'am, it's water.
But what nugget we do get out of this scene is that Kelly accuses Shannon of having essentially a cheater brand, a la Bethany.
Tipsy Girl and Skinny Girl 2.0.
Yeah, and she's saying that she's doing a water.
Sorry,
Shannon's
the fact
doing
that
a
I
water.
said 2.0 is offensive. It's going to be like negative 2.0.
Yeah, no, don't even give them that much
credit.
credit.
I shouldn't have given them that much credit. Also, it was nice to see Dr. Deb for the first time this season.
I mean, I'll give her credit for buying a nice piece of land.
She always comes through and she always brings something. We can never say, go girl, give us nothing, because she always comes through and she is not afraid to just crap on her daughter.
I was about to say, like, she always brings negative things to say
Don't
about
you feel like
Broadway.
the one person, like, if I was on a reality show and the one person I would think that would always have my back would be, like, my mom.
Yeah.
Like, even if I was doing something wrong, I feel like she should defend you. I know your mom would defend you. Like, she literally comes in and she's like, well, the girls probably think you're all boring when you don't drink. It's like, thanks, Mom. I'm, like, trying to get my life together.
The girls said that.
Yeah, the girls would say that. Yeah, it's like, how dare she say that? It's horrible. And that's the thing is, like, you don't go around, like, as Dr. Deb. You know, she looks like she is. She wants attention, obviously.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, she's a brilliant woman. She wants to have her attention. I would assume she gets enough, but she almost seems to struggle that Bronwyn is on a show and getting the attention. Like, I feel like Dr. Deb would happily become a housewife.
Yeah.
Can you believe that another couple wants to get divorced?
No. It's like you are just asking for it.
Another vow renewal.
It's literally vow renewal season on Bravo.
What are you guys doing? Like, I feel like they're a happy couple, Sean. I know that, like, they're going
happy
through a little bit right now. But, like, you can't be, because why would you do a vow renewal? Like, it's the kiss of death. And I was living for the edit when they showed Vicky and Dawn on that beach. I mean, who does not remember the classic Vicky and Dawn?
Yeah, and then Shannon.
Shannon and God, what was his name? David. Why can't I put Bador out of my mind. Sorry, I closed the old Bador. Like, why does she say it like that in her tagline? It's a totally different conversation.
She's trying to make it make sense, and it just doesn't.
It doesn't.
I love how she's like, we promise each other at the beginning of a relationship, we're going to renew our vows every 10 years. I'm like, okay, lame.
Girl, bye. That was your first mistake. That's fine if you want to do that. I'm sure that people every day in their lives have a vow renewal, and it's probably fine, but not on Bravo.
It's just Bravo. Bravo's the curse when it comes to vow renewals.
It is very cursed.
Speaking of a failed vow renewal, Shannon, we go see her on the bus.
Oh, they all get on that nice bus.
Yes, they're all on the bus because they're heading to Palm Springs.
For the vow renewal.
Yeah, for said vow renewal. And this is just really where we are reminded once again that Kelly has no heart or soul.
I think that, is it Gina who described it perfectly? She said that she's as sensitive as a porcupine. Which is extremely accurate. She's sitting in there, and she said, wait, is it Gina that said, they're not going to have tequila here? She was not happy to hear about it. Shannon was not happy to hear about it, and neither was Kelly.
But Shannon at least kind of, like, Shannon did her little brooding thing where she sits there and just, like, thinks about it. Instead, like, she wants to explode, but she kind of holds back.
Well, I think she was sitting there Googling the closest liquor store.
Okay, well, that was her way of holding back. Yeah, but it's just, I have to say, that's better than Kelly being like, I'm not a quitter.
Yeah.
I'm not doing this. I can't believe she's not having tequila. What did she say exactly?
She said, why are you punishing everyone because you're an alcoholic?
And that's insane. I wanted to make sure you got it right because it's just such an insane line to say.
But Kelly rolls right into, she likens it to, well, if I have a wedding, I'm going to have a cake even if I'm a diabetic. I'm not going to punish everyone else. Which is, once again,
not the same thing.
Horrible. I feel like Kelly is missing, like, a little piece of her that, like, is a sensitivity button.
Her heart and soul.
I think her heart and soul.
Sorry. Even I blanked out. I was like, oh my God, it was taking from me.
She's missing a little piece of her heart and soul. After the liquor store,
hold on, you just have to say, the fact that they went to a liquor store.
I know.
They actually did it and bought tequila to bring to a non-tequila wedding.
They went in and they got it, and then they got to the vow renewal, and they walked straight in, and Shannon was trying to be, like, kind of nonchalant and keep it in her bag. Mm-hmm. And Kelly walks in and is like, I know I'm not supposed to have tequila here, but I brought tequila straight to Bronwyn's face, and Bronwyn's just like, okay.
And it's such a choice. Again, like,
just
if
keep
you
it to
had
yourself.
any sense about you would just... I can't believe I'm giving Shannon so much credit here. At least she thought to be like, I'm not gonna, like, put it in her face.
Yeah.
Kelly's just like, ha, here.
Here, I brought my tequila.
Ugh, it's just so crazy.
It was insane.
Can't get over it.
But with the vow renewal itself, it was beautiful. We had the drag queen who was a little tone deaf in the sense of saying, is everyone drunk yet? no, everyone's not drunk enough yet. And they're just standing up there. It's like crickets. Because a lot of people in the audience clearly knew that she wasn't drinking anymore. But I thought the ceremony itself, what did you think? I thought it was pretty. And Bronwyn's stunning. She looked amazing.
Everything was pretty besides the statement necklaces that Bronwyn gave to Sean. It was as if she was gifting him the most beautiful diamond necklace.
Do you not think
And it was another pendant.
He, like, I think she started giving these to him. And I think that he, like, low-key hates them. But at this point,
no, he doesn't low-key hate them. She handed it to him and he went, thank you.
He's like, great, another, like, $3,000 piece of wood that you've carved that looks like a microphone that hangs around my chest.
Can I just say, I thought that was the biggest shocker of the moment, was a collage of him in different pendant necklaces over the years.
You always thought it was the same one. I was like, no, he always comes through with a different weird statement necklace.
The same one.
I mean, they are something.
And it was shocking. I have to say, the most shocking moment of the episode was seeing how many necklaces he had and how good of an actor he is, being like, I love this new silver one.
And she even said, now everyone can stop making fun of them. He loves his necklaces. And he was just like, yeah,
it
necklace.
Was so funny.
It's not a choice.
I do have to go back really quickly, though, just to a funny bit, was Emily opening the mayonnaise container for her husband. He was, like, sitting there struggling, and he, like, hands it over to her, and she's like, boop!
Don't
and
you
he's
feel
just
like
like, what the hell?
It was like, Mom, open my mayonnaise. Like, past it. And he was like, oh, you did that really quickly. Can you do the ketchup, too?
And we were both waiting for her to open it and be like, new hip!
That was literally the best. That was amazing.
She's just stronger because of her new hip, okay? To jump back into the wedding, like, reception really quick.
Shannon is talking about the water thing that we talked about earlier, because Kelly comes up to her at the reception after the vow renewal and says, hey, I heard you're doing a water. Like, kind of trying to call her out. And Shannon says, no, I'm doing a...
tincture.
You know what I kept calling it? I called it a tater tot. I called it a tiki torch.
She was struggling with the tinctures.
I have never heard the word tincture in my life. And I cannot believe that you looked at me dead in the eye and said... yeah, it's like a mini little water thing that you would do. I was like, what?
I'm like essentially a human dictionary. Don't call me Merriam-Webster.
Don't ask him about any other words, but he knew tincture.
But we find out that literally the product is nothing to do with the water.
No.
It's a lemon tincture or like a little tiny lemon shot for just like a cleanse.
Yes.
And
Which is
shocking?
very Shannon.
Shannon and her lemons are a thing. I mean, Lemonade Boy, the first episode, like...
Well, I feel... Yeah, Lemonade Boy, her stepson, that... Yeah.
Even during the wedding itself, we could hear Shannon freaking out about the Kelly and her fight.
Right.
And she was like sitting there talking to her man, being like, I just cannot believe that she's doing this to me.
She was not letting go. She was sitting there.
Blah.
She's like, this is a freaking joke. This is a joke. Like, I would ever sit there. I would copy a brand.
The real Shannon is coming out.
She was so upset.
Yeah.
And so she sat there. She let it go temporarily while the actual vow part happened.
She let them get married. You know, Shannon let them, Shannon took time out of her life to let them get married,
Thank you, Shannon.
Shannon was nice enough to stop.
But the second it was over and Sean had that statement necklace, she was right back on it. She ran over to Gina. She ran over to Emily. And she immediately jumped back on it. She's like, can you believe that Kelly's accusing me of starting a...
water.
When it's a...
It's the tincture.
Tincture.
Like a little...
I'm never going to get this word. Like, in my mind, I honestly...
shot.
A health shot.
There you go.
A lemonade shot.
A lemonade shot.
A lemonade shot.
And it was just so funny to see Shannon freaking out. Like,
hilarious.
Honestly, all she could have been is just like, no, it's
we're getting vintage Shannon Bedore. She
we are.
She likes to be like, I've totally changed. I'm with my new man. I'm this and that.
She's running around that party.
She was right back on it. Right back to Jamaica Shannon, where she's screaming in the middle of or right back to Heather Dubrow's party, screaming, "You'll all see the truth. You'll all see the truth."
That's the better one. I just always imagining Shannon running around like this. And they're like, I think she's having a psychotic break.
Well, when Heather tried to diagnose with Terry,
course,
do you think
she's a doctor by proxy? You didn't know?
No, she has an MD. She's married to doctor. She always says.
And it's funny because as Shannon's, running around like a crazy person, just talking to anyone she can.
Right.
Kelly just strolls up and she's like, hey
guys, what are we talking about?
It's so Kelly's like thing though. Like she's just likes to drop a bomb, walk away, act like it never happened.
Like that's why it's one of the better episodes of the season, because it kind of leaves on that cliffhanger of the drama that's going to happen with it next week. Mm-hmm. And I feel like up to this season, it's been, I mean, not up to the season, but up to this point in the season, it's been like, okay. Like it was kind of the show that we would wait to watch like last. And now I feel like it's getting a little bit better.
It is getting better.
It's not great, but it's getting better.
But she's still the opening of Salt Lake.
She is still the opening act for Salt Lake. I'm not even going to attempt to argue with that. I think that it's time that we head to Portugal.
Oh yeah, we're still in Portugal. The Real Housewives of Potomac.
Yes. We pick ourselves up. We didn't pick ourselves up, but we resumed with the ladies.
The toboggan picked us up.
Not yet. We're still at lunch. We're enjoying our lunch. And the Grand Dame is being just like a little bit messy. I feel like she tries to pretend like she doesn't know what she's doing when she keeps saying, so Robin, are we going to have a wedding anytime soon? Are we going to have an engagement? Talking about her and Juan. Mm-hmm. And she knows.
Because she's referencing the Insta story that Giselle posted of her, like, kind of like sauntering in front of the jewelry shop.
Also, Giselle cannot stand for 2 seconds to also not be like, dude, like, she's so messy. Why did she need to post that? Like, it's almost like hinting. I'm just saying, if, like, you were in front of an engagement store walking and I knew that, like, you weren't getting engaged anytime soon because her and Jamal aren't. Like, I would, in my mind, as her best friend Robin, be like, that's weird. Why is she, like, walking past an engagement store?
I just wouldn't post it.
That's exactly. Like, she did it to get attention. And you know she did. That's why she posted it on Instagram.
And I think they don't mention this, but I feel like that's kind of why Karen's calling out. She's like, You're the one posting it on your Insta story.
Yeah, which is true. And she does it. She brings it up a few times. She's like, will we be seeing an engagement between you, Robin and Juan? And Robin just kind of sits there, and I thought it was kind of funny. She pulled up with a few basketball puns. She said, I've made Juan jump through hoops. What else did she say? She said, the ball is in his court for the engagement.
It's just like, I don't even think she realizes she's even doing it at this point, but that makes it even better.
That she lives in a house full of ballers and never gets played. She was joke. Also, the irony is, like, I feel like she was consistently getting played.
That's the funny part, because it's like, I also like that it just, like, slipped out, and I'm like, okay.
I loved it.
So after the launch they were just at, they go on this insane toboggan thing.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't imagine doing it. No helmets, cars. There's, like, a car zooming right by.
I mean, when I drive my very safe 4x4 Saturn Vue on the road, I wish I had a helmet, like, inside on the freeway. So I cannot imagine zipping around a foreign country with cars flying around on this toboggan and no helmet. I would have been like, I cannot get on this, ma'am, unless I get a helmet.
And I kind of just wanted to bring this up because Karen is sitting there filming them, and she's like yelling and screaming, and she's like, Portland! And then she's like, Portugal!
I can't believe I did not even hear that part. Did I black out for 5 seconds? It was so funny.
I'm going to have to re-show you it because it's so quick, but it's so funny because I think she's scared so she forgets it. But they do that, and that's fun. So after they do their terrifying toboggan ride,
yes,
they go to this beautiful market, I have to say. It was stunning. So cool.
I mean, I just want to go there and pick peppers and...
Yeah, and it was so colorful.
I know about all the weird fruits. Like, I could definitely see that having a...
Yeah, that was a little bit weird, but the colors
were amazing. Fun. No, it'd be fun to go to, for sure.
It would. And this is when Giselle and Karen kind of step to the side for a second, and they talk more about why is Karen bringing up this whole engagement
thing. Giselle tries to call her immediately. Don't bring this up anymore. You're going to spoil the surprise for Robin and blah, blah, blah. And she hits her back with, well, then you need to stop posting things too. Yeah. Which is true.
We've been waiting for Robin to be engaged to since season 1.
Yeah.
This has literally been like the conversation or
what are we on season 6 now? Season 6?
Yeah, this has been Robin's storyline since
really
season
has
1.
Been. And like, I like Robin, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like sometimes it's her storyline could be like a little bit boring.
Yeah. And I feel like we're on the home stretch. She's going to get engaged.
Like,
just
let her have her moment. Let her have her thing.
Exactly. So it was like, they just going to do that. I also laughed because Giselle's like, oh, I'm not saying she's getting engaged, but if I were to say she's getting engaged, don't bring it up. And Karen's like, that's all I need to know. And like sachets away. Yes. And she's just like, okay, thank you.
I caught that.
Like, you gave me what I need to know.
Yeah.
I'm done here. So then we go back to the hotel.
Yes.
This is when they get ready. They're all sitting at the bar in their beautiful outfits.
I think Giselle comes downstairs first, and she sits at the bar and like, and actually like a pretty dress, like a pretty printed dress moment, which I really actually liked, which I cannot believe I just complimented one of Giselle's outfits.
I know.
But who shows up with her next? Is it Ashley?
It was Ashley, yeah. And Ashley looks stunning. She has like...
Ashley is stunning.
She is, but it's just like she has this like cheetah, like kind of flowy-ish caftan. It's not because it's like tighter, but it flows like that. And it's cut really nice. Ashley really is beautiful. And I had to say that.
Wendy, she was wearing a snake moment when she called her husband, and you could tell she just couldn't move in it. Like, she was like standing like this, like leaning over, like, do you think I should change? And he was like, yeah, I think you should probably change.
Get comfortable.
Yeah. She changes to a cute green moment, and
I actually really love Karen's sparkly outfit. It was that silver.
Oh, that was cute.
Sequin.
And I love Candace's too. She was in a pink puffy moment.
But you were very pissed whenever she came running with no shoes on.
I mean, you're not going to run through a hotel barefoot.
No.
Like, I don't care if you're at the nicest hotel in the world, or I don't care where you are. I am not running through barefoot.
And just like, put your heels on. And then after that, they head to dinner.
Yes.
So we get that. And this is where we start getting a little background of Candace wanting to start her own mom journey.
Well, she's decided that, because she's always said, I don't think I'm, ready for family. I don't know if I want to have children. Because she always kind of talks about her tumultuous relationship with her mom. Even though I think she has a good mom, I think it's just a little bit combative at times.
Girl, her mom hit her in the head with a purse.
A little bit combative. Smacked her over the head with a purse. Ashley comes in pretty hot. I think she feels Candace has been a little hypocritical, because Ashley always talked about wanting to start a family with Michael, always wanting a baby, and Candace was always really kind of critical of
Yeah, and she was. I mean, they give a couple of flashbacks of, like, just things Candace had said about, like, whenever Ashley was trying to get pregnant, is she having a baby or is she having a corona?
Yeah.
Just, like, throwing those digs, so then you can't be sitting at the table being like, I want your support, Ashley.
She also, at one point, she said, she claimed that Michael fake cried over a miscarriage whenever Ashley had a miscarriage.
Oh my god, and that's horrible to say. We know
how bad,
Ashley
like, they truly wanted
that.
Yeah, exactly.
So to make even a light comment about it is very insensitive.
Candace can just be so cruel sometimes, and I think it's really coming back to, like, that's what Ashley's trying to say, like, hey, I want to be supportive of your journey, but it's not cool that you weren't supportive of mine, and I need to get this off my chest before we even have that.
I mean, I just have to say, I do think Candace is not a good person deep down. I hate to say that because, like, I think she can be sweet, but she's sweet so briefly.
Yeah.
And then immediately turns on someone or plays the victim or does that it's like, it's hard to wade through the negativity to find positive in her.
Well, that's why, like, I felt like Ashley and Candace were kind of about to have a breakthrough maybe when they were talking. And then the Grand Dame butts in and says, just want to say whenever I decided to soldier up for her husband, it really was, like, a really difficult thing for me to do. And she kind of touched on that. And everyone was like, okay, like, yeah, like, we know Karen. Anyways, and then they jumped straight back into their argument. Like, they picked up right where they had left off.
I did appreciate Robin kind of correcting Ashley in her position. Because she was like, Ashley, this was you 3 years ago. Like, how Candace is acting. Saying,
like, you're not in a happy relationship with Juan, which is true. But I do think that we all have seen Ashley grow so much.
Yes.
So I don't know if she needed to be reminded from Robin.
I want to give credit to Ashley when we talk about her. Right. And maybe she did do some things that were not so great in the past. But I do feel like after the things that she's done wrong, she always copped up to it, said she was wrong. And hasn't done it again to the girls.
She's grown a lot, and I think that's why she got a little frustrated, and she kind of threw it back to Candace and said, well, the first time that you get mad about someone, like, you'll run to Twitter and you start tweeting all about them. And, I mean, Robin, with the line of, I'd say, this season so far, looked dead at her and said, well, that's her character flaw. She'll run to Twitter and say anything. Just the way she called it a character flaw, I was like, that was epic.
And I just love it because Candace is like, all right.
Okay. What can you say? She does. She gets on there and she'll talk about any and everything.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It's like, I just don't see many redeeming qualities in Candace right now because she does take things so far.
Right.
And I think in the Housewives universe, there are some limits that the girls understand.
Right.
And I don't think Candace does that.
I would agree.
That was it for the dinner, really. And then
they go to the prank?
Yes.
Oh, we have to talk about the prank.
Best part of the episode was pranking Wendy.
Poor Wendy. I felt like she was really struggling. She was like, gosh, I just need to, like, pump. And you could tell she just wanted to get upstairs and get comfortable. Mm-hmm. Like, they're like, hold on, like, wait a second. Candace was keeping her downstairs. And finally they went upstairs and the girls jumped out of her closet.
And you think that's the only scare. You're like, ha, ha, ha,
And honestly, that would have absolutely terrified me. I'm scared of people always being in my closet. Yeah. No, so they also put the snakes and the spiders in her bed. And it was funny because it was like a 3-layered prank.
It was. It was actually pretty smart because they made her think that jumping out of the closet was the only thing. And it was kind of a funny moment because after they jump out of the closet, obviously they're like, we're going to leave. And they do a fun breaking the fourth wall moment where they sit in the hallway and watch Wendy, like she's ready for bed. She's about to lay down.
She's ready to pump and finally relax.
Yeah. And she lifts up that cover and there's a
spider. And she screams and throws the spider. And she's like, oh my God, they're so stupid. But that was
they
funny.
Got me. Ha.
And then she pulls back her other blanket and there's a snake. And it finds out that Wendy, her number one fear is snakes.
So she screams and literally runs out of her room.
Yes. And she ran into the girl sitting in the hallway watching her, which was really funny.
It was.
It's nice, like, as much drama as you see on the show. It's good when you see everyone laughing and getting along.
And adding that, like, fourth wall break, it's like, they truly were just like, we want to do a funny joke. We all want to sit around and watch it.
Exactly.
This is fun.
And it was hilarious.
It was just light-hearted and great.
And we all enjoyed it. Yeah. Which was awesome.
And because right after our nice, fun moment, the next morning...
The shade comes out again.
Comes right back. So we enjoyed that.
Beautiful sunny day by the pool, when the shade comes right back out. It does.
So Giselle's sitting down there, and Robin comes down, and we're talking about Robin's...
photo shoot for her hats. She had been looking at the pictures up in her room.
Mm-hmm.
And she came downstairs and she was talking about them. And Giselle was like, how are the pictures? Like, how do they look? And she's like, all of them were really good, except I think that Karen's were really challenging. And they show the few pictures of Karen, which I thought looked fine.
We both agreed on that. We didn't see any problem with it.
Yeah.
And especially when your cast member on a reality show is willing to
plug it on her social, probably.
Yeah.
Do a photo shoot. Wear the hats. I mean, at the end of the day, they're hats.
It showcased the hat.
Exactly.
Isn't that the job?
Exactly. Like, it's not like a supermodel on any of the fronts putting on a hat.
No.
It's not like she's paying Gigi Hadid and Naomi Campbell and Cindy Crawford to wear these hats.
Amelia Hamlin.
We're gonna circle back to her in a little bit, aren't we? But like Karen's beautiful and she's offering to wear your hat for you. I don't know what she expected. I don't know what she was looking for.
And the shade continues because right after that, they talk about a time that Karen got drunk and she was heading out. And she was like, I hate my husband's dick.
Which is so irrelevant. She said it was a moment probably 5-6 years ago.
It was just
when
so
she
weird.
was drunk leaving a party. And then she brings that up. And, like, who knows the context? It's one of those things that literally Karen could have said it jokingly. Yeah. Like, she was drunk leaving a party and Ray came to get her. And then she, like, made a lighthearted joke. And then they've turned it now into something, she hates his dick. Like,
can I just say, no one wants to talk about Ray's penis.
I mean, I don't want to talk about any of their penises, to be honest.
I mean, you're not wrong there, but really
the fact that that's definitely not Ray's. You aren't wrong.
But no, it was just two shady moments that they're clearly coming for Karen.
That she did it, I don't feel like she deserves. I think it's because, like, they almost get jealous because people... I mean, I love Karen. I think she's great. She consistently gives us amazing moments.
She plays the housewife game. She's funny. She has moments. She fights.
She's shady
but she moves
enough,
right on.
but yeah, exactly. She's right not. I completely agree.
We left it off there.
No, that's not the end of it.
Oh my God, you're right.
Ashley comes downstairs because they're about to, like, go off and do some excursion, and they're talking about. I think they bring up Monique briefly, and she actually says, I've written a statement on behalf of Monique, and you can tell Robin immediately is like, oh, well, you're just going to simply say that you weren't there and you'd gone to the bathroom when it happened. Yeah. And she's like, well, no, that's not the kind of statement I'd written. Yeah. I've actually written on behalf of Monique saying that Candace did pull a knife on me.
Yeah, it was a character, like, I don't know.
Well, I think Robin says you're assassinating her character.
Yeah.
Basically.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, Ashley's not lying about anything. It's true. These are things that Candace did do.
What she's writing is about the incident from past seasons where...
With the knife.
The knife thing with Candace, like, throws a butter knife at her. And it's like, why wouldn't Monique have her write that?
Well, and did you see...
I'm sorry. And also, they're friends. Ashley and Monique are friends.
But you heard what Giselle said, why she thinks she's doing it. Because she says... Because you got rid of because Monique did a solid for you, Ashley, by getting rid of the tapes with Michael, which is a really big accusation.
I was gonna say, girl, that's like illegal shit she's talking about.
She's basically accusing her of tampering with evidence.
Yes.
Just put on my Phaedra Parks Esquire hat. Tampering with evidence.
Wow, ma'am. Are you a lawyer?
That's what I do. I feel like, speaking of Monique, it was kind of weird. Usually when we see all the housewives on a trip and one's not there, we usually at least get a glimpse of them.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's because production was like, maybe... things were kind of hanging in the balance with her, because usually it's because the housewife's like pregnant and that's why she didn't go. So maybe that's why.
Because we got that pretty good cliffhanger, next week we'll be getting Monique back, and it's kind of just like, let's put that on the back burner this episode, because we're gonna jump right in next week. And so that was a good cliffhanger. So
I agree.
Potomac's great, and
I agree.
I did want to make sure that we had enough time to touch on Southern Charm, because I do love me some Charleston, some Southern Charm.
So do I.
I'm really happy Leva was a new addition to the show.
I'm loving Leva.
She brings in such a positive energy. She's funny. I really laughed when they were in the car and she's having a party on this episode. Uh-huh. So she calls Catherine and she's like, hey, I want to invite you to my party. Kind of just extending the olive branch. Right. And they're not really that close, so when she...
Well, no, they had, like, kind of the falling out. Well, not falling out, but because of Cam. Like, she was like, hey, don't talk about my best friend, because Catherine's kind of been spreading the word that Jason has been cheating on Cam. Yeah. And I don't think anyone out there believes it for a hot second.
No, it's Catherine.
So...
Take it with a grain of salt.
Exactly.
So it's funny whenever Leva's extending an invitation to her party, and when they hang out, she's like, I love you. And Catherine's just like, all right, bye. And she hangs up. And she, like, turns, I think, to her sister. And she's like, why did I just tell her I love
her? Like, why did I just say I love you? Like, why am I like this? It was so awkward.
Is this too soon? It's just like such a relatable moment because sometimes you just don't know what to say in a moment.
We've also, like, it's one of those moments whenever you're, like, you go to the movies and, like, you get a movie ticket and the cashier says to you, all right, enjoy the movie, and you say, you too, and then, like, you think about it for the next, like, 5 hours. You're like, oh my god,
watching this
why
movie.
did I say that? It's so embarrassing.
Yeah, so it just made me laugh.
I thought it was really funny. I'm loving her too.
Yeah, and I think it's crazy to see Shep in a relationship.
Relationship.
Oh,
he's back.
What a joke. But now he's in a real one.
Yeah, he is.
So it's funny to see that.
I mean, of course, he got a girl that's 20 years younger than him, but we wouldn't expect anything different from Shep.
I mean, can we say how awkward that, like, double date was, though, with Austin and Madison and them two?
Don't you love? Chemistry there. Loving Madison being a full-time addition. Mm-hmm. She says herself, I just love to watch Shep squirm. And we all love to watch her make Shep squirm.
She pushes his buttons and has no problem doing it. And she has the confidence to be like, this is what I think. Yeah. I know amazing. Great.
I really feel like he has some type of thing with her. I don't know if, like, she rejected him at some point, or, like, he seems like he has something with her. He denies it adamantly. But I think that he's got some interest in Madison.
One thing that I saw at this dinner, I wanted to ask you if you're into this in your relationship. Do you like when a man orders for you?
I literally, because I was sitting there watching it with my boyfriend, and I said, oh my god, I hate when someone does that. Yes. If you had sat there and you discussed, like, we're going to split, you know, like the scallops or something, but it's like, I'm having this, and the lady will be having this. I'm like, well, the lady can order for herself. It's 2020. I can handle my own order. Do you like that?
No. I mean, I can't stand it either. I always feel bad because I'm like, I want to order like 25 things. Yes. So I'm like, first of all, I don't want to tell him I'm going to order 25 things. I want him to find out when I order said 25 things.
Whenever I find out that he's paying for this one, and then I can order 25 things.
Yeah, and I also need my ranches, my sides. Gotta get sauce. You know that? So it's like, I don't need someone else to do that for me.
I hated that.
Because it's just weird.
It's so funny that you said that, because I thought the exact same thing.
Because I know people do like that. They find that very romantic and chivalrous and blah, blah, blah. I just find, like, we're adults. We can order for ourselves.
We can order for ourselves for sure. Not what we're into.
And speaking of kind of like people having things with Madison, I'm so over the fact that they're bringing in Pringle for that reason. To have a relationship with Madison. When she's in a relationship, he's not needed. Like, I don't hate him, but I hate the fake storyline.
I feel like Madison might be better off with Pringle, but it's not for, like, producers to bring him on and then have him literally be chasing her and just shoving him down her throat the entire time.
Yeah, he like goes to his sister's house.
Because she's in a relationship with Austin at the end of the day.
She is.
And it's super disrespectful to the relationship, and he is just like not giving a rip that come through Mama D.
I was like, Mama D
from Dallas. Quite frankly, I don't give a rip. That's literally what Pringle's doing.
Yeah, and like whenever he goes to his sister's house, he's like, I'm just, there's this girl, and he like shows his sister a picture of Madison.
Which is so weird.
You're deep in this. And I'm like, he doesn't even know her.
He's talked to her like twice for 2 minutes at a time.
I just wish they would have pushed that back 4 or 5 episodes.
Or 4 or 5 seasons. Like, it's weird.
True. But at least we saw them on camera more than once.
Yeah.
Then I would be like,
no,
maybe.
You're right. But it's just too much. They're definitely really, really pushing that storyline.
But I didn't hate him with his shirt off, though.
I mean, he looked pretty good. But he is like 45 years old. And he is coming in like fresh out of a divorce, 21-year-old in college, shirtless, jumping on, watching him try to talk to girls.
Girl, that's all the baggage I love in a man.
Everything that I'm into.
I love being a man. Fresh off a divorce, multiple kids.
With no game.
No, that's my type.
Trying to talk to those girls. It was because, I mean, I feel like I think he's attractive. He kind of, like, gives me Tyrion Lannister vibes. Not just because he, like, kind of, like, looks like him, but he also was drinking like a psychopath.
He was.
And Tyrion, I mean, what does he say? It's what I do. I drink wine and I know things. I feel like
and Pringles... he tries to hit on women.
I feel like Pringles is that's what I do. I drink wine and have no game. Mm-hmm. Like, that literally, if they had taglines on Southern Charm, that would be his.
Oh my god, that'd be nice. I kind of wish I knew what their taglines would be.
Give me a tagline. Give me Madison's just like, I like to see Shep squirm. And like, I would just be like, yes. Yeah. Every episode, like, yes. Yeah. Our queen, we love you.
The biggest thing to happen in the episode, we're just going to cut right to it.
Yes.
Was at Leva's party.
Her beautiful
party, by the way.
Jinx.
Yeah.
Her beautiful party. My God, I would have killed to go to that. Yeah. It was stunning.
It was stunning. At said party, Catherine gets a text or something, and she just likes to come up to the table, and she's like, "Hey guys, Thomas got a girl pregnant."
Yeah, Thomas's lawyer has confirmed that he's gotten a girl pregnant, and she's about 6 months.
6 or 7
months. 6 or 7 months.
And she's been living with Thomas.
And she thought like they were on the track to get back together.
Well, last episode, I don't know the timelines of this, but like,
right.
The last episode she said, just a couple weeks ago, I hooked up with Thomas.
Yes. And she was like, and I feel like, oh, it's nice to be like, if things were normal, they could be like this. But also, like, I mean, at the end of the day, now Catherine's spreading all these rumors about Cam, and I feel like she's out looking for revenge, and, like, she knows what type of person Thomas is, so I can't feel, like, I feel bad for her, of course, to an extent.
I feel bad for her, but I feel bad for her kids, because, like she said,
well, of course.
My kids now have a half-sibling that... How is that going to work when Thomas won't even tell me the girl's pregnant?
Well, no, what I think what she said was, she mentioned to him, like, oh... Well, I guess, how could you not tell me this? Because now Kenzie and Sane are going to have a sibling. And he said, well, half. Which, like so he's still, he probably said it in a nasty, snarky way. Yeah,
of course he did.
Because that's who Thomas is. Because he's a slime ball. He's a sleazebag. And I can't believe they've put him on our screens this season.
I swear I saw that he was not going to be on this season.
He's not getting a paid appearance, I guess. But I feel like he was trying to do like some type of like PR campaign by coming on and just like, look at me being a good dad and doing this. I don't think we're going to see him anymore.
In episode 3 because we find out he got a girl pregnant.
I don't think we'll be seeing any more of Thomas Ravenel.
No, I hope not.
I mean, I pray.
She needs to get out of that house.
Crossing my fingerinos and toes that we do not see anymore.
I think those were my biggest takeaways from this episode. I think we'll get into it more next week.
Yeah, we'll definitely do a deeper dive on Southern Charm.
Because Southern Charm is a slow burn. I'm loving Southern Charm, so.
So I think that's all for our shows this week. But I think that we should jump into some hot takes in the Bravoverse. Woo! Are you with me?
Woo! Yes, I'm ready.
I was scrolling through Instagram today and I saw that they released the Potomac ladies' dresses.
Oh, yeah.
We got to see pictures of them at the reunion.
Yellow.
What do you think about the yellow?
I honestly like it. Yellow is not...
We're looking right now at all the ladies.
Yeah, sorry. My yellow is not my favorite color.
Okay.
But I do think they all pulled it off really well.
Who was your favorite and who was your least favorite dress?
I think Karen really rocked it, but I have to also say Robin. I think
her dress
was incredible on her. And it was a little bit more gold than yellow.
It was like painted on her, yeah.
Yes, and it was like it was like perfectly fit. Least favorite would be Candace. Shocking. But also I think that big bow just alludes to childlike mentality, which is Candace. So it just made me mad.
That was a nice little wrap up with her. You really wrapped that bow up. I would agree with you. Favorite Karen, least favorite for me is definitely Wendy. Because it just like if you made Belle from Beauty and the Beast dress a little bit of a trashier version. That's what it looks like to me.
I feel like it's always tough. Your first reunion, I don't feel like many housewives can pull off the best dress.
That's fair. It's hard for your first reunion, but don't come through in a trashy Belle dress.
Ooh. Giselle. Giselle
kind of gave me nothing, but I didn't hate it. She was stunning. Smack dab in the middle. Oh, was it her face and her hair and her? We
always just put that aside.
It's always stunning. Yeah, we have to just look at her fashion. The dress for me was like it was in the middle.
Yeah, I think they all did relatively well.
We also had a birthday this week in the Bravo Labs universe.
Ooh, who?
Miss Ramona Singer herself.
Oh, yeah, the Singer Stinger.
The Singer Stinger. So I thought it'd be fun if we both said our favorite ever Ramona moment. Love her or hate her, she gives you moments.
I always go to just her runway walk with those eyes popping.
Do your best eyes. Do your best. Yes, it's so her. Oh my god, I love it.
And I just love that she thought she was sexy.
She really did.
The confidence.
The confidence was something. Yeah. I always think about when she's sitting at lunch with Carol, and she's talking about how she was at her friend's party and they had a reggae band, and she keeps saying reggae. They had this lovely reggae band, reggae, and Carol kept being like reggae. She kept correcting her.
Reggae, yeah, reggae. And my daughter, reggae. I pronounced it,
but she could not get it. Like Ramona and her Ramona-isms, she can never pronounce a word right. The audacity.
She brings it.
The audacity of her not to pronounce reggae right.
Happy birthday, the
Happy
singer-stinger.
birthday week, Ramona.
Well, to top that, I think, is the
what everyone's
news.
talking about this week?
Literally everyone is talking about it. It goes between the verses, the Bravo verse and the E universe, but we have a relationship between Amelia Gray.
Yeah.
That's her. She has 2 names, right?
It's her middle name, Amelia Gray.
Amelia Gray and Scott Disick.
Wild.
Thoughts?
I mean, literally,
Thoughts?
she's closer in age to his son Mason. They were both born in the 2000s. Scott was born in the early 80s, and I think early 80s, mid 80s. And she was born in the 2000s. And I actually saw that today or yesterday, one of the last few days, Lisa Rinna announced, she didn't announce a statement, but one of her friends talked to the press and said basically they're not that happy about it. They hope it's just a phase, which is exactly what Sophia, Richie. That's exactly what I feel like Lionel Richie had said too.
I mean, it's weird. He's 37, dating a 19-year-old. I'm not saying she's not. She's an adult. She is legally an adult. She can make decisions. But it is on the person that is 37 years old to be like, I don't need to date someone in their teens.
I completely agree.
Like, of course she's probably like, why not? Rich older man,
she can do whatever
fun.
I mean, she's wealthy enough. She can do whatever.
Yeah.
Just go out, do her thing. But I just feel like it's one of those things that is so unnecessary.
I just don't understand it. As we all know, I like me an older man.
You want to go Anna Nicole Smith, you want to get a man on his deathbed. That's loaded.
Hey, I'd take it for $50 million.
I can't.
Holla!
I cannot with you. I feel like ending on you saying holla, like Heather Holla Thompson, is a good place to end for the week.
And that's where we're at.
That's where we're at.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in to the Reality Wind Down.
I feel like
it was fun.
I had a great time, so
Yeah.
I hope that you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, cheers to that.
Cheers.
See y'all next week.
See ya.